What's up everyone, it's Kanan, back with another Rune Factory video, and today I'm going to go over some gameplay features that I'm really excited about, plus some concerns that I have. And I'm sure a lot of people that have been following this game for a while know those concerns, but I want to give my take on it. Now, a lot of the features that I'm going to go over have been talked about by other journalist companies, but a lot of this came from the director of the game himself, since he did an interview with Game Informer just a day ago. So we're 6 days away from release. At this point, I think it might be less than six days because it's after midnight for me. But so yeah, less than a week until Rune Factory 5 releases. It's almost been a decade since Rune Factory 4 came out on the 3DS, which of course they re-released it for the Switch, but that is a long time. There have been so many people who are wondering if we were ever going to get another Rune Factory game after 4, after Neverland, the team that used to make the Rune Factory games, filed for bankruptcy. But of course, the whole entire team was hired by Marvelous, so there was always that hope that we would get another one day, and that day has finally come. It's going to be a Switch exclusive, and I just cannot wait. Me and Jess, as I've said in past videos, both of us have pre-ordered the Earthmate edition, and I'm going to do an unboxing of that, but I don't know whether to include that in the first Let's Play episode of it, because according to Amazon, which is who we pre-ordered it through, it's supposed to be here on release day. It says delivery day is on the 22nd, so we'll see. I probably will not be able to get it up that day because you guys know our internet is slow as bricks. But hopefully the very next day I will have it up. So I might put the unboxing plus the first episode of the Let's Play in the same video. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, let's talk about some of the features in this game. Now, of course, this first part is from the actual interview with the game's director. And he went on to say that where a lot of these features were in past games, like cooking, fishing, smithing, and stuff like that, in this one, you can cook, fish, smith, ride monsters around, and perform link attacks with other characters. And of course, I've already seen pictures of the player character and one of the marriage candidates riding around on a monster. So yes, it's pretty much letting you know that to build your relationship up with other characters, whether it be romantic or not romantic, you can do these things with the characters. I guess you can, from what it is saying in this article, that you can cook together, you can fish together, you can craft stuff together, and all that. The link attacks we've known about for a while, so I'm not that too shocked about that. But now, as someone who in Harvest Moon games and games like this, fishing is not my most favorite activity. I think anyone who ever played Stardew Valley will tell you that the fishing in that game is nerve-wracking. I'm trying to level up in my personal playthrough so I can get the fish to complete the game, and I dread it every time. I hate fishing in Stardew Valley. Other games it's not that hard, like Friends of Mineral Town. It's very easy. It's boring. It can be very boring. I guess Stardew Valley in a way is more exciting than others because it's a headache. But I really do wish that Story of Seasons would do something to make fishing a little bit more exciting, but also way more rewarding than what it is. But it's fishing. There's not much else you can do with it. The director also went on to say that the 3 elements of the Rune Factory series, not Rune Factory 5, but the whole entire series from Rune Factory 1 to now, is love, farming, and adventuring. And I love that. I love that so much because, of course, when the series first came out, its biggest selling point was that it was connected to the Harvest Moon series. It was a farming game. If you love Harvest Moon, try this out. It's a spin-off series, but it's still its own thing. And the adventuring goes right into that. It's a Harvest Moon game, But you can fight monsters and go through dungeons and have a story that's just like an RPG. That was what drew me to this series. I loved, like, ever since I played Harvest Moon Back to Nature on the PlayStation 1, I wanted more from these games. I love Back to Nature. It's still technically Friends of Mineral Town, because Friends of Mineral Town is kind of in itself a remake of Back to Nature. And I wanted more. There would, like, every time I would stumble upon something different or new that I didn't know about in Back to Nature, or an event I didn't know about, it made me want to just go below the surface even more in this game, which eventually I played it so much there was literally nothing left in the game to do. And so when Rune Factory came out and I played the first one, I felt like I discovered new stuff every day that I played. Now, of course, as the series went on, it got more and more like that. And I'm sure Jess feels the same way as she continues to play Rune Factory 4, is that you just discover new things and there's always something to do. I feel like in Harvest Moon, it gets, like, the problem with Story of Seasons is eventually, even if you've not fully done everything, the game gets very repetitive very quickly. I like that in some cases Rune Factory kind of makes it to where, you know, you have to get to a certain point in the story before you can marry certain candidates. I know the Leon, the bachelor in Rune Factory 4 that Jess really likes, apparently you have to get to Act 2 before you can marry him. So that's what I like, where in Story of Seasons, you can be married within your first year if you work at it hard enough. So I kind of do wish that they would put not harder requirements to get married, but like maybe put like, you know, you can't get married in your first year, or, you know, something like that, just to make you work toward it a little more like a real relationship. Because I'm not saying people who get married within 1 year of knowing each other is not a real relationship, but it's, you know, it's not exactly something you see every day. But anyway, so I love that. I love that he pointed out that the three elements of the series is love, farming, and adventuring. And then he says the crafting system ties all of them together. So of course I know where crafting could tie in with farming and adventuring, but how does it tie into love? Are there certain items that you have to have in order to get married, and the only way to find them in the game is to make them? That's going to be tedious because I'm not a big crafter in these games. I like just farming, level grinding, and pursuing, going through the story, you know? So we'll see. Who knows? Then we get onto the concept of the festivals. Now, festivals have always been a fun thing in these games, whether it be Rune Factory, Harvest Moon, / Story of Seasons, or Stardew Valley. Though I feel like sometimes the festivals just don't hit home sometimes. Some of them, like, I believe the Story of Seasons remake has an egg hunt. No, it was Pioneers of Olive Town. What I did not like about that festival is it's more of an event than a festival. You don't control your character and run around the village trying to find eggs. It just shows your character hunting eggs in a cutscene, then boom, the festival's over with. I don't like that. I like for festivals that if they're a competition like that, to be fully playable. The egg hunt in Stardew Valley, you hunt for eggs. And I've still to this day never won that festival. And then there's the festivals that I really do like viewing the fireworks festival, you know, the ones that, you know, yeah, kind of help you with your romance with a particular character that you partake with them, like the spring dance and stuff like that. I love those kind of festivals. Plus, I do like, you know, like the harvest festivals, the farm animal themed festivals, like the chicken festival, the cow festival. Those are always enjoyable because it gives you something to work toward. Something, you know, I want to take care of my cows and chickens the best I can. That by the time that festival comes around, I win it, you know, so it gives you something to work about. And he goes on to say that traditional festivals like the harvest festivals, the fishing competition, and the monster fighting competition, that I must have never seen that one, because he lists it like it's one that's been in past games, but I don't remember a monster fighting competition, will return. But there will also be new festivals in the game, so it makes me wonder what they've come up with for this title. I'm kind of hoping there's somewhere, you know, you actually have to leave the town and like look for a certain item or look for a certain monster, because there have been ones like that in past Rune Factory games. The first one, you had to find a certain item within a dungeon by the end of the day to win the festival. So give us interesting ones like that. Now, of course, the game's already out in Japan. I could get on the internet right now and look up the list of festivals, but I don't want to do that. I want to experience it when I boot up the game for the first time. Then he was asked about dungeons and if there will be a variety. And he said familiar dungeons like the fire and ice dungeons will be in the game, because that's a Rune Factory staple. There's always a dungeon that's based around fire. There's always one that's based around ice. You know, there may be a water dungeon, something like that. But he says we'll also go through other locations like prairies, a bandit hideout, and an abandoned town shrouded in darkness. Now, to me, that last one sounds like fun, because you guys know me, I like a little spookiness in my games. I kind of hope it's kind of like the old mansion in Rune Factory 4, where you pretty much get the ghost girl who you can marry. That was fun. I thought that was a really fun, unique dungeon in Rune Factory 4. So I'm kind of hoping it's a spooky, dark mystery of why this town became shrouded in darkness, which led to it being abandoned. Then he goes on about link attacks. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory. A link attack is just a special attack you can perform with an NPC. Now, he goes on to say that the link attacks are affected by the weapon you use, the particular weapon you use. So if you use just a regular sword, it's going to be different from a link attack when you're using like a hammer or dual wielding. I think there's dual wielding in this. I can't really remember. Also, they become more powerful by the strength of the character's relationship with the player. So that's already telling you, if you've got a strong relationship with the character that's with you, the attack will be even more potent. And I'm guessing it's pretty much saying that if you're with your spouse, that's the strongest attack you can have in the game. Now, that's me only guessing. He didn't say that, but you would think. Now, I'm sure if you have high friendship with a character, it'll be pretty powerful, but you would think the strength of the power you would have with, say, your wife or husband would be the strongest, you know, just saying. Then he was asked about same-sex marriage being in Rune Factory 5, and he talked about, you know, how this will open the game up to bring more players in and stuff like that. And he even goes as far to say that he does think this should be included in future Rune Factory titles. So I don't know whether to take that as confirmation that same-sex marriage will now and will always be a thing in the Rune Factory series. I mean, they kind of have to at this point. You can't put it in Rune Factory 5 and then Rune Factory 6 comes out and it's not in it, especially since it seems like Story of Seasons is going to continue to have same-sex marriage, and they're both Story of Seasons and Rune Factory are made by the same developer / publisher, so why wouldn't it be? But also, this pretty much is him confirming that there will be more Rune Factory games. We will have a Rune Factory 6 maybe, and maybe a game like Frontier and Tides of Destiny where it's not a numbered title, but it's still a new game. We'll just have to see. Now, Polygon put out a article a few weeks ago. I remember seeing it talking about constant leveling up. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean there's a way for you to constantly level up your level, like go from level 1 to level 10 just by doing one little thing. Now, I'm sure there probably are hacks like that in the game where if you can find a certain skill or a certain item that'll up EXP and you can find a particular enemy farm in it. Farm not as in farming like farming, but you know, an enemy farm for an EXP farm, pretty much. But there are skills in this game that are very easy to constantly level up. Like, apparently there's a walking skill. The more you walk, the more points that'll be put into that. Throwing stuff, your throwing skill will go up. So yeah, it's little skills like that, you know. And of course, if the more you use a sword, your skill and sword use will go up, making your attacks have more damage and stuff like that. So I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's kind of been a thing in Rune Factory for quite some time. But I mean, it's also a thing in the other games like Stardew Valley. You get a level up for foraging, for farming, for mining, for fishing, and it's the same in Story of Seasons, especially in Friends of Mineral Town. The more you use your axe and hammer level up. You can upgrade it to a higher skill. So that's not entirely a new thing, but you know, it's something to know. That, like, if there's a particular skill you want to level up, there's going to be a way to do it. So I'm really interested in the whole cooking, fishing, and stuff like that with other characters. I wonder if you have to do it so many times before you'll actually maybe get a rank up in affection. I love that he said the three elements of the series is love, farming, and adventuring. Like, that's Rune Factory to a T, really. If you think about it, it's always been the three main concepts of the game. Because I sometimes do think Rune Factory has done romance a little bit better than Story of Seasons. So that's perfect. But I'm wondering how the crafting system ties into all three. Two of the three I can understand, but crafting and love, we'll have to see. Definitely interested in the festivals that are going to be in this game. I love festivals. I don't think there should ever be a game in this series that does not have festivals. I'm looking at you, Harvest Moon Save the Homeland. That game could have been so great, but boy, did it suffer in a lot of ways. The talk about the dungeons is nice, and you know, like I said, I'm looking forward to the abandoned town, Shrouded in Darkness. Link attacks, I think, are going to be pretty fun. And of course, yeah, the main thing I am very happy about in this game is the inclusion of same-sex marriage. I think that should have been added in as soon as... I mean, I'd love to say as soon as the first game came out, but, you know, Rune Factory 4 should have had it. Like, I really do think it should have had. Now, the only concern that I have for this game is the performance. There have been many reports that the game has frame rate issues, it crashes a lot, it freezes a lot. I did read one article where they said when you left your house and into the village, it was very unstable as far as frame rate goes, but eventually it would stable out. So I'm a little bit worried about that because apparently the Japanese version of the game has still not ironed these issues out. So I'm really hoping the West version doesn't launch day one broken. I'm hoping they've got some kind of big fix in place for it after the Western release is out. I wonder how that's going to translate in a Let's Play situation. Because like I said, I've been avoiding spoilers for the most part, so I've not watched anyone's Let's Play of the game because I don't want to be spoiled. I want to experience this game right away, like out the gate, my own experience. I want to experience the whole entire game fresh, and so yeah, that's the biggest concern I have is the performance. Like, you would think a game series that has been non-existent for quite some time. Like I said, it's been almost a decade since Rune Factory 4 launched on the 3DS. You would think they would have wanted the game to be top performance level, but I don't know. I try not to be very critical on that kind of stuff because it's not like I could do better, but you do expect these developers who've spent years on this game to really want the game to release in a very workable state. But I've not played the game myself yet to see what kind of problems there is. I could see it being worse in handheld mode, and I usually don't play handheld mode. I usually play on a television. So we'll see. We will just have to see on that. I really hope the day one patch has something special for it, that they also release for that the Japanese players also get. But I really hope they've got a plan in place to fix these issues, because I don't want to wait this long for this game and then end up being somewhat lukewarm to it because it's barely playable. So I hope that doesn't happen. That's my only concern for the game. I'm looking forward to it, very, very much so, because like I said, I've been a Rune Factory fan since the first one, even though I didn't complete every single game. And I remember when Rune Factory 4 came out, I thought it was the best game in the series, and a lot of people thought that too. It was the best selling game in the series at that point, and then Neverland filed for bankruptcy like not long after the game came out. So that was a shocker, and I really thought Rune Factory was gone forever. But thank goodness we're getting 5. Thank goodness they re-released 4 for the Switch. And yeah, hopefully in a few years we'll be talking about Rune Factory 6. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was like a little special video I wanted to do leading up to release. Friday will either be a new Fire Emblem episode, or if I can somehow get Elden Ring updated, it will be an episode of Elden Ring for you guys. I've been playing the game non-patched this whole entire time, so I'm probably just going to play the story bosses because I don't want to start a new game, and Souls-like games take forever to beat, and I really just don't think I'd be able to complete the game for you guys. But maybe New Game Plus, I'll do a whole fresh Let's Play of it. Who knows? But if I beat the game, my record of actually beating these games is not very good, even though I love Souls-like games. So yeah, as always, guys, this is Kanan. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave me a comment. Like I said, first episode of Rune Factory 5 will be up as soon as I can get it up. I highly doubt I'll have anything for the day of release, but definitely the very next day. As always, guys, this is Kanan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.